world is happening with King County real estate? Come on, let's take a look. This is your September forecast. We have all the data from August. What you're looking at is the supply and demand graph for the last 2 years. Over here, green is the supply, the new listings that came on the market, and blue is the demand, the number of listings that sold, that went pending, went under contract in any given month over the last 2 years. Couple things. So first, we've already seen the peak of inventory for 2021. You're not getting it any higher. Looks like we hit our peak in June. Okay, so no new bump up. It's pretty steady stream down, and you can anticipate a steady stream down every year. Less people list, which is why I always think it's crazy to think, oh, I'm not going to list till the spring. Hello, look where the biggest gaps in inventory occur. The less demand, bigger gaps, more supply. Less demand, big gaps. In the spring, you get more money selling in the winter. Let's look at what's happened the last couple of months. Pretty interesting here. July had the biggest gap of the year between supply and demand. Less demand, more supply than any time this year. We were wondering if that was going to keep up for August. It did not. The buyers, came rushing back in to absorb all that extra inventory. So while the inventory went down, buying demand went up. And I would anticipate some very close sort of phenomenon like that to happen in September as well, that you're not going to be seeing this kind of easing, which we thought might be happening. I don't think is going to continue to happen. I think you're going to wind up in a serious seller's market. Maybe not 17 offers, but certainly competitive. If you're looking to sell, the end of the year looks like it to be a good time to do that. Doesn't look like there's going to be any any huge influx of supply that's going to overwhelm demand. I think demand is going to keep up with, and in the case of August, outstrip supply. We shall see how the year winds up, but it does not look like we're going to get some major sort of shift in the market just yet. All right. If you've got questions about your circumstances, every neighborhood's different. Every house is different. If you got questions about what you're dealing with, different price points, let me know. That's what I'm here for. Aaron Hendon with Christine & Company over at eXp Realty. Talk to you soon. Bye. What in the world is happening with Pierce County real estate? Let's check it out. Here we go. August 2021. This is September forecast, but this is the data from August. You're looking at supply and demand. My favorite graph. Green is supply, the number of new listings that came on every month. Blue is demand, the number of listings that are under contract any given month. And an interesting thing happens in August. So first of all, let's go back to July. July was the high point in inventory for the year. Unlikely you're going to see more houses come to market than you've already seen. Fairly typical seasonality there. Even with the pandemic, you generally see housing now, inventory supply, begin to drop off toward the end of the year. It's really typical. Every year it takes a dive toward the end of the year, which is why if you're thinking about selling, the end of the year is actually better than the spring, because watch every spring, more and more inventory comes to market. And that's where the gap is every year for the difference between buyers and sellers. You can see a couple of years ago, huge gap between buyers and sellers in the spring. Big gap between buyers and sellers in the spring. Big gaps. And in July, July, is May, June, July, the biggest gaps between inventory and sellers, which is why people had a sense of the market maybe beginning to slow down in July. But you can see what happens here in August, especially here in Pierce County. Buyers swooped in and sucked up all the inventory. Buyers actually exceed new inventory. So all that inventory is getting sucked right up by buyers. You're not shifting to a buyer's market anytime soon in Pierce County. I don't anticipate the buyer demand will be any higher in September than it is in August. I think you're going to see inventory go down and buyer demand go down seasonally. I think it's still going to be close, though. I don't think you're seeing price drops. I don't think you're seeing any kind of easing up in terms of how difficult it is to buy or how easy it is to sell right now in Pierce County. It's just going to be proportionally lower as we move towards the end of the year. So if you're looking to sell, you should be fine. Let's get you to market as soon as possible. If you're looking to buy, you got to be strategic. You got to take the house when it comes up. You got to be fast. You got to be flexible, and you got to be with someone who's going to write a winning offer. Going to be really tough for buyers. Doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon in Pierce County. If you have questions about your circumstances, if you have questions about what you're dealing with, let me know. That's what I'm here for. Aaron Hendon with Christine and Company at eXp. Thanks. What in the world is happening with Kitsap Real Estate? Whoa, look at this. A couple things really interesting, I think, because I'm a real estate nerd. You're looking at supply and demand last 2 years. Last 2 years. Green is supply, new listings that came on. Blue is demand. That's the listings that went under contract any given month. And this is what we're going to use this to predict September. I wouldn't predict any further out than that. Couple of really interesting things. Huge increases in supply over the last 5 months, except in August. Everything dried up in August. So people that think, oh, I'm going to sell my house in the spring, you're nuts. Why? Because look at this. You got this huge, you're just increasing competition. Watch what happened in August when competition dried up. Whoa, demand spiked way up. So whatever we were experiencing in Kitsap County, like, oh, the market's softening, it's beginning to turn. In August, it turned back the other way. That is, demand used up all that extra inventory, right? Well, it didn't use up all the extra inventory, but it started to absorb this excess inventory that's been accumulating, and it exceeded the new listings that went on for the first time since February. So buyers demand exceeded supply in the first time since February in Kitsap County. Now, what does that mean for the future? Well, we don't really know. A couple things we can authentically predict. One is you're not going to see a new high in inventory for the rest of this year. Why? Because everyone waits to the spring. I don't know why, but they do. So here, this is pretty typical. Up, up, up. And then down, down, down to the end of the year, down, down, down to the end of the year. We're going to go down, down, down to the end of the year. And I think if you notice, towards the end of the year, you wind up with buyers sucking up excess inventory. And I think you're going to continue to see that in Kitsap County, that any kind of accumulated inventory is going to get used up by buyer demand. Although everything will be going down compared to the beginning of the year, you're going to see it come close to or exceed the new listings that come on. So what does that mean? That means if you're thinking about selling, you should be fine. Toward the end of the year, should be no problem for you. You should get on it. If you're buying, you still need a good strategy. You need the right lender. You need all the right parts. And you're not going to see, you're not talking about the market falling apart anytime soon. So if you're looking to buying or selling Kitsap, let me know your circumstances. Let me know what you're dealing with. I'm happy to help answer any questions. Aaron Hendon with Christine and Company with eXp Realty. Talk to you next month. Bye. What in the world's happening with Vashon Real Estate? Whoa, check it out. This is actually pretty interesting because after months and months and months and months of demand outstripping inventory, all last year, low inventory. There were months this year where we had one house for sale on Vashon, that kind of thing. The last 2 months, 3 months 2 months in particular, have been more inventory than demand. There's been more supply than demand. In other words, what you're looking at is the last 2 years, supply are the green bars, new listings that came on any given month. Demand are the blue bars, number of houses that went under contract. And the last 2 months, we've seen more houses come to market, then got sold, which is not the case. No. Oh, one case here, but really for the most part, demand has been outstripping supply. And you've seen more houses available and houses selling for 1 offer, 2 offers, 3 offers versus 15 offers in 2 seconds. And that's, I can't, who knows what's going to happen going forward, but it does indicate where it does look like people are taking advantage of the hot market, putting their house on the market, and people, given the new high point in prices, we're not seeing prices go down any, right? If you look at, let's look at this other graph. I think this is also useful. We're going to just check out the, come on, little buddy. We're going to look at this, show you the overall price increases for Vashon, and you can begin to see, come on, here we go. A couple things we're looking at here. Yeah, so you're not seeing prices go down, right? You're seeing new highs every month. That's a high, right? And you could anticipate toward the end of the year, this may level off a little bit, but for a median price of 718, which is a new high, right? It wouldn't be surprising to see demand just cool off because you're reaching a state in which buyers can no longer just buy anything that's available. Housing is a serious 17, 18% increase in value over year over year is a big deal. And if we look at, that's why things are cooling off a little bit, why the demand has slowed down just a little bit, because the prices have gone to where not anyone can just afford a house here anymore, which is not surprising for anyone who's been looking. And if we just do a quick search of Vashon, just to look at the number of houses available and how long they've been on the market. Let's check it out. Now there's 16. There really were months this year where there were 2. Okay. So one of them's for rent. So 15 houses for sale. And this is the first time this year where we've seen 3 houses. These houses, 545, 569, 599. Really, that's as low as you're going to get on Vashon. You're really not getting below 500 anymore. These are all below medium and median, but you have the bulk of them above median prices. And, you got a couple here that have been on 33 days, 20 days, 30 days, 43 days. That's unusual for the year, right? And that's what it looks like when demand drops off. You're not seeing houses get below 500. You're just seeing this is the beginning of that evening. So if you're looking to sell on Vashon, you got to price it intelligently, and you should have really no problem selling if you've priced it well. And if you're buying, depending on what your price point is, you should begin to see a little bit of an easing of the opportunity you have to buy. Now, typically at the end of the year here like this, you don't see you're going to see a drop off in new listings. You're going to see people not bringing their houses to market because everyone thinks, I don't want to sell in the winter. I don't know why people think that. In general, although on Vashon, at this particular juncture, you got to price it right. But like I said, I don't think prices are coming down anytime soon. So whether you sell it now or you sell it in the spring, you're going to have just about the same opportunity, predictably. So let me know what questions you have about buying on the island. Everyone's situation is unique. Every circumstance is different, right? Let me know what I can do for you. I'm happy to help. I just think the bottom line here is the days of below 500 are gone. And if you're buying, you haven't had a better opportunity than right now. Okay? Let me know what I can do for you. Aaron Hendon with Christine Company at EXP. Talk to you soon. Bye.